Another way that we will spread what we do is with ArcGIS Online. Most of you know ArcGIS Online. You've been introduced to it. It's a cloud system. But everything that you knew up to this point is good. But I'd like to make a distinction between that and what's happening this summer and this fall, which is that we are shifting this into a full GIS in the cloud environment. This will be an open platform for mapping and geographic information in the cloud. You'll be able to deploy it in our clouds, our partnerships with Microsoft and Amazon, or you'll be able to deploy it on-premise in your cloud environments. This will open up your assets for others to use more effectively, and it will be connected back to your full enterprise systems. The heart of this, perhaps I should back up, is something called intelligent web maps. They are the mechanism for connecting our enterprise systems to this web environment. What is an intelligent web map? It's a new medium. It's a medium where we can integrate multiple services together, a map service, a data service, an analytic model service, and share it. So I can make a mashup, for example, and give it to somebody. I can email it. I can put it into a blog. I can put it into my website. It's a medium. And these new web maps are not just visualization, although that's an exciting part. They also support editing and pop-ups, and I can build analytics into the intelligent web maps. So they do things that hook back to analytic services, including temporal. This is going to greatly simplify our world and make it available and open, because these are addressable through REST, open to any technology. These intelligent web maps can be used everywhere. They can be used on any device, smartphones. They can be integrated into social media. I can put them into a website. I can put them into a browser. I can use them in my ArcMap environment, a kind of one map vision. This one map vision is actually something that I borrowed from Vincent in Singapore. He said, I want one map. I want it to move across my whole organization. I want one map that moves across the whole world, that's shareable and accessible and collaborative in nature. This ArcGIS Online environment unlocks not just an individual's organization, but organizations in total geoassets, geospatial data assets. What do I mean by that? I mean that ArcGIS professionals, desktop users, could share their connections with geodatabases and servers through these intelligent maps. But also, I can put in other data like GPS data, or drag and drop a CSV file, or put in KML data sets and integrate them into this new medium that other people can discover easily through a catalog registration and access directly and visualize and then build into applications. This is a kind of open system for sharing and using GIS. And I can go on about this. You can see this notion that this will tie things together for organizations, but it's better if Bernie Szukalski maybe just shows it. Some of you know Bernie. He's the product manager for ArcGIS Online. He's a great guy. A little scared, so give him a warm welcome. Bernie.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, everyone. Now, we introduced ArcGIS Online here on the stage last year. And since then, it's become an integral and integrated part of the entire ArcGIS system. What you're looking at here is arcgis.com, and it's the web gateway to that system. Now, what's most important about this site is that it enables everyone, not just GIS professionals, but anyone, to make and share an intelligent map easily. So let's make one. I've opened up the arcgis.com viewer. This is built into the website, and we're starting with the World Topographic Base Map. Here I have some data that I'd like to map. Let's take a look at it. It's a spreadsheet. Now, how do I take this spreadsheet, and how do I make a map from this spreadsheet? Well, it just so happens that 4 days ago, we updated the capabilities of ArcGIS Online, and now mapping this spreadsheet is as simple as grabbing it and dragging it and dropping it onto my map. Now all the information that's in that spreadsheet is available to me here in my pop-ups, and I can configure these pop-ups more. Now the other thing I can do is I can use that spreadsheet information now, and I can symbolize my data differently. These happen to be crime incidents in Washington, D.C. I can choose a different symbol, or I can choose unique symbols, and what I'd like to do is select as my field the offense type. I can choose from a variety of different color ramps, pick one and apply, and now I have a little nicer map. And I can also do some other interesting things with this map. I can use graduated symbols, so I'll choose size. Now these crimes are weighted by the severity of the offense, so let's choose that. I'll choose standard deviation and apply that. Now I have a really nice map that shows me where the worst crimes have occurred. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Now, ArcGIS Online has many, many maps, has nearly 100,000 maps today, and I can choose from any of those and mash them up. What I'm interested in is seeing if net worth plays a factor in any of these crimes. So I'll type those keywords in, I'll search, I've found something of interest, and I can add it to my map. So that quickly I've created a mashup. I can refine this map a little bit further. I'll adjust the transparency so that things blend nicely together, and it looks like I'm done. We'll zoom out just a little bit, and we'll save it. I'll give it a title. And I'll also use that for my tags and also my summary description, and save it into my free ArcGIS Online account. So now I can come back at any time and look at my mapped spreadsheet. But I may want to take this a little further. I might want to share it with others, show them what I found. So to do that, I just check this button. Now I can post it to my Facebook site. I can tweet about it. I can copy and paste this link and share it via email. Or I can do something else that's very interesting. I can make a web application out of it. So here's a template gallery of ready-to-use web apps, and I can browse through these and find one of interest. And to open my map in one of these, I just click, and there it is. I can copy and paste this link and now share it with others that way. Now I'm interested in social media, and one of the interesting templates that we have here is this one, which enables me to look for tweets in this area. And this is live. So I'll type in a word that I'm looking for. I've typed crime, hit carriage return, and now we've mapped all the tweets that match that here in the Washington, D.C. area. So very quickly I can make a map from my spreadsheets and take advantage of these templates to use it more widely. So intelligent maps are very easy to make. Intelligent maps also present information in meaningful ways. Here is a map showing demographic profiles, and what we've done is we've used pop-ups to display this information more meaningfully. So rather than a list of attributes, what I'm looking at here is a paragraph and a pie chart, which helps me gain more understanding about what I'm clicking on. Intelligent maps are also time-enabled. So here's some data. It's a map from the World Bank, and you can see it's moving. At the bottom, you might notice a slider, and this slider is moving in yearly increments. What we're looking at is population growth over time from 1960 on up to present. The countries in blue are the ones that are decreasing in population for that year, and the countries from green to red are the ones that are increasing. Besides being time-enabled, intelligent maps are also timely. And what I mean by that is they present information about what's happening right now, this very moment. Now, many of you are familiar with the flooding that's been happening in the Midwest, and here I'm looking at USGS stage height collectors. So I can click on these and look at the current height of the water at this location. Here I'm at the Red River of the North at Fargo, North Dakota. And as I hover over this, I can see that currently the stage height is just a little bit below 20 feet. And I can also learn that the flood stage is 18 feet. So right now at this moment, looks like the river is about 2 feet above flood. Now Fargo is a very interesting area, and as I explored this area, we see as we zoom in, we're crossing different scale thresholds, and we zoom in a little further, and I see this very detailed content. Now this is very interesting because Fargo is here on the west side of the river, and it happens to be in Cass County, North Dakota. The sister city of Moorhead is on the opposite side of the river, and it's in Clay County, Minnesota. What's really interesting is that all of these organizations have contributed to the community base map, which you see here. And I think this is especially important because when disasters like floods happen, they pay no attention to jurisdictional boundaries. Now, Fargo is no stranger to floods, and they've constructed a series of levees to help protect the city's assets and to protect parcels. Here I've added the levees and the parcels. I've also configured a pop-up to display the information about these parcels, the total value, the building value, and also the land value. And I've actually added another pop-up here. This one is a pie chart which represents that same data in a different way. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to share this map. Earlier we shared this map, but I'd like to share this in a different way. What I'd like to do is use this in my City of Fargo website, and to do that it's very easy. I click this button, and it generates the HTML that I copy and paste into my website. Or I can copy and paste this into my blog. And here's what that looks like. This is my City of Fargo website, and that same map has now been copied and pasted in here, and it behaves exactly as it does in the application. So I can click on features and learn more about them and leverage this map in that way. Now, I showed you the Twitter template. I showed you the Twitter template and another one earlier, and this is also a template that you'll find on the template gallery. And this one's very interesting because what it does is it lets me look at 3 maps side by side. The maps can be locked by scale and location, so as I zoom in on one, I also zoom in on the others, and this is, I think, you'll see, especially useful for comparing different data. Now, another characteristic of an intelligent map is that it can be opened in many different applications. So that map I was just working with, I can open in ArcMap, in ArcGIS Desktop. Here I've opened it in Explore Online, and Explore Online is another application that you can work with and open it from arcgis.com. Now, Explore Online has some unique capabilities. It enables me to author a presentation. We'll get to that in a minute. What I'd like to do first is mark up my map just a little bit. To do that, I open up some map notes, and I can choose these map notes, and I can click and move them around my map and drop them into place to highlight something. Now, what's interesting about these map notes is I can attach other information to these and place them in a geographic context. So here's one I created earlier. I've added a little paragraph about flooding that occurred here at the Oak Grove School. We have an aerial photograph of that flooding, and when I click on the photograph, we link to a website with more photos that tell me about what happened there. So here's some sandbagging that happened in 2009. Here's the flooded football field, and here's the Army helicopters bringing in additional sandbags. So we can do some very interesting things with these map notes. I might want to highlight this area. You can see there's lots I can choose from, and I can make my own custom ones. And now I'm ready to go build my presentation. I click on the Presentation tab, and to make a presentation or a slide, I adjust my map and click New Slide, and then add a title. So in many ways, this is just like PowerPoint. But it's better than PowerPoint. Here's a presentation that I made earlier using the same data, and I'm opening this in a browser. So I can play it in Explorer or play it in any browser, and I advance the slides by clicking the button. So it's kind of like PowerPoint, but it's better because I'm connected to that live dynamic data. I can interact with the map at any time, and I can interact with anything else that I've placed on the map. Now, another powerful feature about intelligent maps is that they can be used on any device. And we'll come over here to my iPad. I have ArcGIS running on the iPad, and when I start that up, we'll see the same Fargo map. I can use gestures to pan and zoom, and I can also click on features to get more information. So here's the pop-up with the parcel value information, and there's the pie chart that I showed you earlier. So all the same capabilities work across any map and any device. Here's my table of contents, and I can continue exploring the map. Now, that presentation I just showed you in the web browser, we can also open up here in my iPad. And this is really neat. iPads are becoming very popular, and lots of people have these, and this leverages maps and the iPad as an excellent presentation tool. And again, everything just works. Now, another thing about intelligent maps is that they are open. And what we've done is we've opened up ArcGIS Online to all sorts of new formats. Here I've zoomed in to Maine, and I know that the Maine Department of Environmental Protection publishes KML from their website. I'll search for that KML. Here I found it. I'll right-click, copy that link address, and come over here to the map viewer and check the box for KML and just copy and paste that in, and there's my KML. And all the pop-ups are there. And click on the pop-ups and view those. We also now support WMS services, and I've added several to my account on ArcGIS Online. Here's Maine Geology, which is a WMS service published by the USGS. I can preview it, add it to my map, and adjust and change transparency just like I can with any other layer. Now, I know that lots of you have shapefiles. I think a lot of them have been collecting dust in the far corners of your storage closets, but you can bring them all up and you can shine them up and use them now in ArcGIS Explorer Online and also the map viewer. So this is a shapefile. I added the shapefile by importing it into my map, and now I've made that shapefile, I've dusted it off and made it come alive by taking advantage of some of the pop-ups now that we can use to add more meaning to these polygons as I click on them. So that's a very nice feature. I've added other shapefiles. Here's one that has hospital locations, and I can adjust the symbology. I'll do something quick here. I'll just change the size a little bit here and adjust it to a place that I like it. Now, another thing about intelligent maps is that they support analysis. And I'm not going to do some heavyweight geoprocessing here, but what I am going to show you now is this dashboard, which enables me to do some visual analysis. When I click on a feature, I can see the population dial at the top. I'm also looking at various demographic segments here in the bottom. And as I hover over other features, we'll see how they compared to the one that I've currently selected. So a very interesting and very useful tool. So I've shown you quite a lot this morning, and there's a couple of things I'd like you to remember. One is that ArcGIS Online is a place where anybody can make and share intelligent maps, and the other is that this is a great way for you, for your organization, to provide broader access to your GIS. Thank you very much.
It's great, Bernie. It's good. Very good. Exciting, isn't it? It's going to open up a whole new world for everybody else to make their own maps and have access to your work. ArcGIS Online has been evolving for some time. We started a couple years ago by introducing a series of base maps, and many of you make these, integrate these base maps into ArcGIS now. Currently, we make something like 10 to 15 million of these base maps a day. Pretty good. You're doing your work. A couple years ago, we introduced catalog and group sharing. This meant that people could register their services and upload their data as map packages using the tool I talked about earlier. Last year, we introduced a series of web viewers and the concept of an intelligent web map. This summer, we basically opened the whole system up, like Bernie just did a nice job of doing, and also made a free application mapping tool where anyone can actually make their own map. So if I have some CSV files, I can make a map, I can bring in a base map, the whole thing nicely works. Well, this fall, we're doing two other things. First is adding to that the capability to do hosting, online hosting. You can upload your data and it turns it into a service automatically. And also be able to take the whole ArcGIS Online environment and turn it with templates into a system specifically for you. In other words, on-premise, or some combination of that. For example, I could have ArcGIS Online, but for my organization, running in the cloud, but my front end. So it's really Louisville Online, or Tennessee Online, or USGS Online, or whatever, hosted in the cloud. And then this next spring, with the release of 10.1, we will integrate these environments into 10.1 so that every desktop is connected, every server is connected, if you want it to be. Here's an image that I'd like to share. It's something that's been coming into my mind for some time, that this environment, this new cloud web environment, is basically something that can be configured to bring your own geographic assets together. There's a few people, like Geneva, who have taken all of their information and centralized it into one database can with integrated services. They've just done a wonderful job. But most organizations in my traveling around don't do it that way. They have a little here, they have a little there. They have these workers here in this department, those workers in that department, and it's hard to bring it all together because people are the way they are, and technology has not really allowed us to do that as well. What ArcGIS Online as a concept does is allow these distributed resources to be registered, cataloged, organized as groups in this social media environment of communities, and from time to time hosted, and then made available. So a number of organizations are grabbing this idea, because it's a very powerful idea, and bringing the portal technology online or inside of their organizations. Well, I'd like to introduce you to a special person. He's the lead development person on ArcGIS Online, Jeremy Bartley, who's going to tell us about exactly how that works. Jeremy.
Thanks, Jack. So as Bernie showed you this morning, ArcGIS is an online system for working with maps, applications, and geographic information. Well, this morning I'm going to show you a different ArcGIS Online. An ArcGIS Online that's not for you as an individual, but an ArcGIS Online that's for your entire organization. ArcGIS Online is a complete online geospatial platform that's configurable, secure, gives you the ability to turn your data into web-accessible services so that you can make your geographic information pervasive within your organization or to the wider public. This morning in this demonstration, I'm going to log into ArcGIS Online as someone who works for the city of Louisville. City of Louisville has an account with ArcGIS Online. And they've configured ArcGIS Online for their organization. So I get a different look and feel. I see key maps that are for the city of Louisville. If I go to the gallery, I don't see maps from the ESRI community. I see maps that help me get my work done every day. ArcGIS Online is configurable for your organization. You can configure the look and feel. What shows up on the home page or in the gallery? What's the default map for your organization? What are the set of base maps that are most relevant to the work that you do? ArcGIS Online is secure. You can choose to make ArcGIS Online for your organization completely private, or you can choose to share out with the wider community. ArcGIS Online supports all the users in your organization, from GIS professionals to information workers who don't know anything about GIS, to managers, to decision makers. They all can play a role in ArcGIS Online. And you have the power to control the level of access that they have. Can they just open maps and view them on the website, or can they publish data as hosted services? Finally, you can also you can administer the entire site so that if one user leaves, you can move his content to another person. Content is some of the most important things that you do. You build content. And Bernie showed you how open ArcGIS Online is, from working with WMS and CSV and KML. But I'm going to show you another aspect of ArcGIS Online. Here I have a spreadsheet of bank locations. I have the address, I have the city. It's a pretty simple spreadsheet, and I like to web enable it. It's maybe a simple spreadsheet, but it's a very large spreadsheet. There's over 25,000 banks in the US. That's way too many features to be able to stuff into a web map, like Bernie showed you earlier. We need to web enable this map. We need to turn this map into a hosted service that's secure, that's performant, that gives you the features that you need when you need them, without any desktop software. Now I've started that publishing process, and in a few minutes that information will be ready for me. Rather than wait for that to finish, let me go ahead and show you a web map that's already consuming that service. Here we see the same service being served out of ArcGIS.com. And when I go to open this web map, it's going to be zoomed in on the city of Louisville. And I see those bank locations in that area, complete with all of their attribute information. So we've web-enabled that spreadsheet data, turned it into a hosted service, created an intelligent web map that we can share with people that we know and trust. Now, most of you have desktop GIS software. ArcMap is the complete tool for creating maps and geographic information. But some of the problems that you may have run into is once you create your beautiful map, how do you share it out to a wider audience? Maybe you don't have the ability to host it on your own server. ArcGIS Online can help you turn your desktop information and publish it out on the web. And I'm going to have my friend Bernie show you how that's done.
Thanks, Jeremy. So here I am the GIS analyst for the city, and I've been asked to publish the latest flood data. Jeremy, my boss, has subscribed to ArcGIS Online for our organization, so I'm all set to go with what I need to do. All I need to do is sign in to my account, and Jeremy has already enabled me to publish maps directly. Here's the flood data that I would like to publish as a web service, and I share that now as a service, and click the button, choose a name for the map, and now we've started the process. Now, what's really interesting about this is now ArcGIS Desktop is my dashboard for online publishing. A couple of things I'd like to do. I'd like to make sure that the service that I publish matches the tiling scheme and projection of what we've standardized on. So to do that, I'm going to choose from an existing service to make sure that everything matches, and all I need to do is hit the Publish button. Now, this part used to be very difficult for me. I used to have to check to make sure a server was up and running. I might have to talk to the IT folks, and then there's the inevitable emails and questions and forums. But now I am web-enabled, and I can publish this map directly to our organizational cloud, and I can focus on the things I do best, make maps and manage data, rather than try to learn things I'm not comfortable with, like managing and configuring servers and services. So there you see, this map has now been published to the cloud and is ready to use. Back to you, Jeremy.
Thank you, Bernie. That was great. So now that Bernie's done the hard work, created the map, and published it, why don't I do the easy work? Let's create a new map and consume that information. So when I start a new map, this is the base map for the city of Louisville. I could choose from any number of base maps that might make sense for me. They're all configured for my organization. I'll stick with this. But let's find that information that Bernie just published. Now I can search through the entire ArcGIS Online system, or I can search within my content, or I can search through my organization. Here I see the service that Bernie just published. Let's add it to the map. I'm going to add this other critical areas feature service, and then let's zoom into the area. There we go. The map just went from right here on stage to the cloud and is now an accessible web map complete with. So let's save this map. Save this map. Come on, you can do it. We'll try that again. All right, there we go. Once this map is saved, I can choose how I want to share it. Do I want to share it with everyone? Do I want to embed it in a website like Bernie showed you this morning? Or do I want to make a web application? Web applications work with and extend the web maps that you publish. Now, the set of web applications that I have here are for the city of Louisville. They've been configured directly to work with the information that the city is going to publish. This one in particular lets me find all of the EPA facilities that are within 1 mile of any feature that I select. Pretty powerful application. But just like you can create hosted services, you can create hosted applications in ArcGIS Online. So I can publish this application directly to the cloud, and it can be accessible for anyone. Now, sharing is very important in ArcGIS Online, as we've talked about a lot this morning. Sharing is done through groups. Groups allow you to share your information with people that you know and trust. So I have a series of groups that I belong to. Some of these help drive the look and feel that you see on the website, and some are made because I want to share information out to this particular group. So this group is the external maps for the city of Louisville. Let's add the web map that we just authored to this group. Now, just like you can embed maps into a website, you can also embed a collection of maps into a website. So this is a mock-up of the city of Louisville, and we've embedded all of the content from that group directly into this website. So in review, ArcGIS Online is configurable, it's secure, it gives you the ability to create hosted services from data on your desktop with or without GIS software to make your information pervasive throughout your organization or throughout the wider public.
Thank you, Jeremy. It's good. Fantastic. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so let's review what we saw with ArcGIS Online. It's a cloud-based GIS. It supports online or on-premise deployments. It has groups, so I can organize my content that way. It has geocoding, it has great maps, it has intelligent maps. I can support applications in it, and on and on and on. The context that I'd like to leave you with on this is that this is a new pattern. This is a SaaS application pattern. It's for individuals or for departments or for enterprises. And it'll be very interesting to watch this go. For me, I've launched a lot of new patterns in my career. This is one that's going to be, I think, the one that takes us all of us, I mean, to a different level. It means that we'll be more collaboratively, more engaging with the people that really deserve to get involved in this, the people that are the policy people, the people that are decision makers, people that are knowledge workers, and ultimately those people who we serve, our citizens.